Okay, some people describe Vic Brugger's work as raw, honest, and spiritually confronting. Others call it intense, messy, even polarizing, and that tension is exactly why I wanted this conversation with her. You grew up in South America and are now based in Dubai. In a few months, you gained a massive following by speaking boldly about capitalism, feminism, and modern identity. And you self-published a 550-page book called Last Words of an Ego on Death Row, which you describe as the autopsy of an ego on and the birth certificate of the woman I am today, which sounds very intriguing. And today we are going to explore what happens when inner transformations meets sudden visibility and whether explosive opinions are truth, performance, or sometimes both. Thank you for being here, Vic.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. That's a great start.
Yeah. I thought,
layers.
The explosive content. Let's maybe start with that. You became very Insta-famous. I remember when I saw you first on Instagram, you had just a few hundred followers.
Yeah.
And I saw it just by scrolling, and I was like, okay, that sounds so intriguing what you're doing. Like the storytelling and everything is so unique, so different than anything else that's out there. And then suddenly you have like over 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
How's that feel? And how does that make you feel with what you're doing?
To be honest, the greatest element of what happened is to finally be flowing into something that works. Because, you know, people see Instagram and they're like, oh, this is what you are. But I'm 34. This is just one side of me that works at the moment in a specific context. So I think the first feeling that I had was this feeling of alignment. Like, okay, good. This locks, this lands, right? Like this short storytelling and cultural documentary in mini versions is something that speaks to people, and that will give me a position of access and distribution that then will give me the platform that I want. So it was a feeling of assertiveness, like, yes, this worked.
Was there like a specific post where you thought, okay, this is taking off now?
Well, to be honest, it's kind of, people think it's 100% within your control, and it's not. Yeah. I think the overall account is within your control, but each post, it's very hit and miss. I know a lot of singers say that, like they put out an album and the song that they put their heart and soul into, nobody cares. Yeah. And then a random song that they wrote on a piece of paper just last minute, everybody's just like, oh my God, this is my religion. Yeah. And I think it's very similar. Like, for example, the video about This Wasn't a Joke, Mahmoud. Yeah. It's like when I'm in a taxi, that itself gave me 45,000 followers.
The money honey.
The money honey. People lost their bananas with that one, and they were obsessed, and I still don't understand why, honestly.
Maybe because it was so relatable.
Yeah.
To some point, you know, I think that relatable content is always goes more viral than other stuff. But let's talk about you, like before everything. You grew up in Uruguay, right?
Yeah.
And what did that environment there teach you about what you're doing now? And why did you decide to leave it? Are you like, I have the feeling you're like on some kind of self-finding trip around the world, trying to see where you fit in?
I'm 34. I lived in Uruguay until I was 25, which is very common for Uruguay because, you know, things move a little slower. It's not like America or Europe where around 18, 21, you're already like on the move. We move a bit slower. But, and I was always self-identified as an artist. I thought I wanted to be an actress, which is like within the options available at the time. You think, okay, this is what resonates more. Yeah. So I moved to London. And then I went to London and I was there for a while. I was there until on and off, because in the past 5 years I have gone back. I lived there for a year and a half. So I always tell people I lived in London for 10 years because on and off I kind of did. In London, I saw that like actors in the UK, acting is a very academic profession. And I'm just like a rule breaker. Yeah. I'm not interested in like academia at all. I mean, I'm interested in knowledge, but I'm not interested in like, how are you going to be somebody who expresses themselves to the world and has to deal with one of the most savage and ruthless industries in the world by attending class? Yeah. You know, and I thought there was no, and then when I went to auditions, like the people that were waiting with me, I was like, these people are not very educated. Their emotions are out of control. and they live in like fantasy land. So I got a more corporate job, and then I met all the bankers, and I wasn't going to do a career in finance. I don't think that's even possible for me. But I was like, these are my people. They're aggressive. They're ambitious. Yeah. They tell it like it is. Yeah. They're interested in history, and they're interested in the real world. They move at a completely violent pace. So I dated a lot of guys in finance, and then I did odd at, like, I was in sales, or I was a PA, or all stuff like this. And then I was so fascinated by that. But then COVID started.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend leaves me. And then I just like collapse. I completely collapsed because London disappeared. And this is the same for so many cities in Europe. It's like, if you're in the cosmopolitan bubble of expats in a way, and post-COVID, it's like complete apocalypse. And so then I started traveling for 5 years. I started my first business because I wanted to work for myself and travel. And then last year I started posting. I posted for a week, and then one of my posts got me canceled. It got like 60 million views, and then I had to leave South Korea because I was banned from the country. And then I started...
Because of this post?
Yeah. I called them ugly.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a big problem. Yeah. And then I started posting in July, and my Instagram exploded again. So...
You know, it was so funny when I saw that you were coming to... I follow you before you came to Dubai. And when I saw
did?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, I did like months ago already.
No, but when? How did you find my account?
By coincidence, I was doom scrolling at night, and suddenly one of your reels popped up. And then I was like, okay, follow, because this sounds interesting.
But do you know which one? Because maybe it was when I was in Asia.
It was for sure, I think
in
it
China.
was some capitalism post, for sure. It was something about capitalism or whatever.
Well, I don't know, but that probably, maybe it's like 6 months ago.
Yeah, as I said, when I started following you, you had a few hundred followers.
Yeah, no, I had 7,000. No, a few
or
hundred.
Maybe
7,000.
A few thousand, but
yeah.
But not a lot. Like, it was for sure under 10,000.
Yeah.
And
well, that was July.
I found it by coincidence, and since then I'm following it. And then I saw she's coming to Dubai. I'm like, oh my God, I have to have her on the podcast. And then, you know, I was so afraid to reach out to you. Not because I was afraid of you, but because of what you were posting. I felt like I'm such an idiot. Like, I'm a podcaster. Like, who gives a me, you know? Like, so, but then I said, you know what? I think you are the kind of person that just loves when people just do whatever they want to do. So I reached out anyway, and I love it. But yeah, your posts are crazy. And it's funny that you say you wanted to be an actress, because to me, when I saw your videos, I was like, you would be such a great director. Like, you would make excellent movies. Like, I saw your YouTube video, which we will talk later about, but I saw the first scene where you are lying on the bed. Is it you? I don't know if it's you. And I was like, oh my God, this is like so like Tarantino-esque or whatever, you know, like very unique and very great cinematography and everything. So I see you more in that field. I mean, I don't know about your acting, but this was like, I thought she has to make a movie or a documentary.
A lot of people comment on the cinematic element of it. It's like the visual storytelling.
Another thing, why did you come to Dubai? Like, what made you come here?
Well, to be honest, I was a bit tired because I've been traveling for a long time. Particularly last year, I was in like, I don't know how many Asian countries, but basically the entirety of Asia. And my friend was here. Oh, okay. And I like Dubai. It's really chill. Yeah. It used to be. Now it's a bit of a jungle. But I like that everything is like comfortable and luxurious and convenient. Like you don't have to do anything, and you can lay in your like apartment, and everything's clean, and you know, you get the food delivered to your door, and it's fun. But I think I've been here too long now. I've reached like the threshold of my excitement. Yeah,
I saw that you mentioned that maybe it's time for you to leave. I mean, I understand it that people who live in Dubai need a break sometimes from living here, because it gets a bit crazy and the hustle is very... But then again, you said you were like with these finance guys who were pretty much the same, I guess, right?
With the what, sorry?
The finance guys.
Yeah, but the finance guys in Dubai,
a different.
And come on, like it's not
I don't
Wall
know
Street.
a lot of them, to be honest. So I try to keep.
To be honest, I met a guy who was here on business from New York, and he was a banker from Wall Street, and then we recognized each other like we're from the same tribe. And I was like,
crazy.
oh my God, flashbacks to London.
Yeah.
Just a different speed.
Okay, let's go back to the YouTube video, because in this Boredom Beyond series, you said there is one sentence that I somehow memorized that got me like thinking. You were saying getting into an argument is like getting a massage. And I was thinking, do you like provoking people or arguments in general, or is it simply just your natural character that clashes with people by coincidence?
I think that's your German side, that you're just like very constrained in a world of rules. I have no intention of clashing with people, and also I don't clash with people.
Yeah.
What I like is that I have the option to put people in their place because I'm so comfortable in confrontation.
Yeah.
I think my post... what's really interesting about the term controversial right now is that the world is so divided.
Yeah.
Like the Andrew Tate fight, the violence that I saw in the comments, not just mine, but everywhere, from people that were happy that he lost. I mean, it's a fight. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. People bet on who wins and who loses. So, but the violence that people are taking to social media now, just because somebody disagrees with you. So I think my posts are just like very curated self opinions. Mm-hmm. And nowadays it's so unacceptable to have an opinion that it generates friction. Yeah. So, and I also, like you mentioned your son, I think the newer generations are very interesting, especially Alpha, because that's after Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z
was like, nothing is okay. You can't say you're white. You can't say you're happy. You can't say you're sad. Everything's unacceptable. And now Alpha is more like, like into this rage bait thing where they're just like, we provoke, but within a lane. And to be honest, I'm a millennial. Like we were bullied in school and men were complete, a-holes. Yeah. I mean, we lived in a world where women were not allowed to talk the way they're allowed to talk now, because every time you had an opinion, it's because you're ugly. That was like the theme of the 90s. Yeah. Women with strong opinions is because they're desperate to get married and nobody wants them. Nowadays, like Vogue put an article saying having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Like, I'm trying to survive all these trends. But so like 100%, my intention is not to provoke people. But I would say this, I've traveled so much and I'm such an independent thinker that I'm not surprised that people find my opinions like completely out of the ordinary, because I don't operate on the ordinary. Yeah. It's like when Uruguayans are 100% European descendants, right? We don't have any natives and everybody looks European, has the European last name, whatever. They think the world is Uruguay. Yeah. Like you go there and everybody is gay, weird, or embarrassing, except for them. Yeah. And this is a theme that I see a lot across the world. Everyone's in their tribe, and their perception of the world is based on who they are and how they were born and how they see the world. Absolutely. So if you come with another angle, everybody feels threatened. They feel provoked. And I'm like such a neutral observer. I just look at things for what they are. Of course, I have an identity, and of course, like I talk about. I think one of my latest videos, I say like, according to Asians and Middle Eastern, I'm Western. I believe that I am. I'm still Western. Like this is very modern for a lot of cultures. But yeah, I think, first of all, the internet is ready to fight over a sandwich.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Number two, what's acceptable and not acceptable keeps changing. The trends are moving faster than we are. And secondly, I'm just objective.
So would you say that this is something that people misunderstand about you a little bit?
No, people love the content.
Yeah, I mean, they love it. But as you said, it's only like a 30-second glimpse into your mind.
No, I think I've never felt more understood. I think that hence the following. Like, I think people are like obsessed with me in a way that I try to encourage them not to be. Like I get these messages every day of people just like, I just want you to save my life. And I'm like, I don't know what you're projecting on my Instagram videos, but I'm just a girl standing in front of a computer.
But I think because people see that you are dealing with this stuff very publicly, like what I said before, like the finding yourself and your own identity and everything, so many other people deal with this and just see what and how you are doing it and try to maybe copy it or...
Yeah. I'll tell you this, I have come to understand that the audience where I resonate the most are people that are like, they come from pretty dysfunctional environments and they're trying to find themselves while dealing with surviving. And it's like, they feel like I can't afford purpose and meaning because I'm chained to surviving, like my job, my relationship. So I think that when I tell them you have to choose your life, like you're free to choose and there's ways in which you can take action to live a meaningful life, I think that resonates with them a lot. Like,
but then there's only so much a single person can do. I mean, when we say, you can choose whatever you do, then I think it comes from a very privileged kind of background, which you obviously also have.
People say that, but I was broke my entire life. I had nobody to call, not just for money, but for an unbiased opinion. Everybody was always judging me of being unconventional, and they punished my decision making by not supporting me. That led to relationships where I was, jumping into relationships where I wanted them to protect me and to save me. And then those relationships ended up being just as unhealthy. So this cycle of instability and, not self-destruction, but, decisions that you make out of desperation rather than out of position. So when people write to me and they tell me that I'm privileged and that what I have is because I'm privileged, they're delusional. Okay. What I have is because I just don't stop. Even now, like I still get,
you're ambitious.
Curved problems. Like they come in the right direction. Every time you do something, there's another problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ambitious or I'm just like such a fighter.
Yeah.
It's like I deal with stress and I deal with problems. Like I endure it alone. And I never feel like I want to cry and call somebody to save me.
This is so funny because one other episode that I did here with a real estate agent, funnily enough, she said, even if you feel bad or depressed or whatever, and you just have to show up. You just have to get up and show up. Just grind, just do it, And I think this is so true. I see that the most successful people, it doesn't mean that they don't have bad days. Everyone does, right? I'm sure you lie sometimes in bed and are like, oh my God, I just can't.
But and I film it.
Yeah, and you film it and you make something out of it. And this is so funny. And that's why I was also so surprised about your book. Like 550 pages is insane. Would you say, and the funny thing is you say this is not a book, it's not a journal. What is it then for you?
It's like just these pages where I would write every day. But it's not strictly a journal because journaling is like, hi journal, today I'm feeling like this. Like I would just have pieces of ideas that I had or observations about the dinosaurs or just, existential problems. But what I love is that it was registered in real time. This is why I added the dates. Mm-hmm. So many people understood the message, which is like, this is the person that collapsed in 2020. And this is the person that you have in 2025. And the only actual record of what happened in between is this. And then people get to see this is what it feels like to go through it. Because you know what I also find really interesting in this new era of like, business women and these like boy podcasts or whatever, everybody talks about just the grind. Just do it. I don't think we remember how horrible the hard part is. It's like, you have to understand, it's not going to be hard but exciting. It's not going to be hard but rewarding. Yeah. It's going to be horrible. Yeah. You're going to feel lost at sea with no direction. You're going to blame yourself because you're going to think that everything that's happening is because you're doing something wrong. You're not going to have the answers. You're not going to have the resources or the support, and you're going to have to figure it out. Yeah. And people forget that. Let's not like glamorize that because the whole point is that you suffer. So, a lot of people, like I just put out it's like a program. It's called Prove It, and it's a 30-day commitment. People are loving it, but they're not doing the silence.
let's talk about this for a second, because
Yeah.
I've also put some questions down for that. This program, who is it aimed at, and what does it exactly do? I saw it was like very cheap, like I think it's 10
because I don't
pounds
want
or
people
something.
to then have
Yeah,
any
to
excuse not
access-
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it like a course, or how would you describe
It's
it?
a detailed instruction on what to do for 30 days based on mainly like it's a psychological and emotional commitment where you're supposed to be in silence for all your social hours, and you're supposed to watch what I indicate. Like I give them materials that they need to study and content that they need to watch. They need to answer very long questionnaires and make really lengthy essays. So it's essentially something like morning pages from the artist's way. And then towards the end, I start teaching them how to turn that into videos. And it's divided in 4 sections. It is relationships, money, mental health, and purpose. So it kind of takes the person on a journey of introspection into how to identify what they want whilst understanding the things about the world that they have no idea, especially in the money and the social media. I have a whole section for social media. It's like... I tell them exactly what they need to know if they want to make this work. Like a lot of people have no money because they either come from backgrounds where they had to choose a job out of desperation, they're artists, or they are in careers that they don't like. So if you don't like what you do, you're not going to make money because it's not a career. It's a job. It's a paycheck. So what happens is that then they don't advance, right? And they're stuck in that, like, like a receptionist or, and then you're stuck in that very limited paycheck. And what do? You indulge because you hate your life.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to buy something with my credit card.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to go out. I'm going to drink a lot. I'm going to do, And then these people are the ones who need to reset and say, look, the only thing you have to do is build a life that's meaningful. The money will follow. The money pays high-skilled people. The money pays people that are specialists on what they do. And if you're doing it as a side job because you just need the money, it's never going to get anywhere. But then you have no time. So, and then the same with artists. So I think social media is really like the lifeboat for all these people.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to go to an expensive college. You're not going to... Another thing that I encourage people to understand, and this is also in the money section, is like I've traveled all over the world and I've been in very different social economical like demographics. And I can tell you that it's just about where you sit socially.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's who you know.
Yeah.
And people have no access. They're middle class or lower middle class. And they're just like, oh yeah, your only chance is to be exceptional at something. Social media gives you the opportunity to jumpstart 100 steps up, because if you do whatever, some people like do ASMR singing while they prepare matcha. It's like you can do whatever you want. If the right person, just think of it like in the medieval times. If the prince likes you, you're in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's life-changing.
And I'm always saying, like, these niche things sometimes make much more money or social following than anything else. Like, I just started crocheting again, and I saw there are like literally people on YouTube that make money by, showing which wool they are buying and which yarn they use for which project, and they're doing tutorials and sponsored by companies, and it's insane, And this is like a little hobby for women, they say, but then again, some of them make like real money with it.
Like you just said, your son looked at my content. Imagine if you're doing like crochet and then somebody's son watches your content, and then you get a call from somebody important, and they're like, hey, we want to sponsor you, whatever. Like social media has built all this horizontal lines in the business.
Absolutely. It gives you a lot of chance, but then it's also hard to stand out because there is so much noise,
I think it's hard to stand out because people aren't themselves.
Yeah, probably.
Because they think that they need to cosplay being an influencer. It's like, they're like, oh, I want to be like this influencer, because if not, I'm not good enough. And the influencer they want is like a model from France.
And they are comparing too much themselves to other people.
Yeah.
When
nobody's interested.
When in reality, I think everybody should just, do the authentic content they were born to do, let's say,
Yeah. Nobody's interested in your fake self. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to watch that.
So many people that are fake have so many followers and make money.
Yeah, but they're fake Depends. Who? Give me an example.
I mean, I don't know, like I think especially women who are just, you know, showing outfits and whatever and sitting in nice restaurants. And I mean,
nobody is famous on Instagram for doing something half-assed. Like a lot of women are on social media.
And I know how much work it is.
A lot of women who are on social media showing their outfits is because their husbands are multimillionaires and they show a lot of luxury stuff, and I think that's accurate. What they don't show is that the husband beats them up and that they're in a relationship with 3 other women and that her husband's business is probably illegal. But she does have a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
And she does have a Gucci outfit
and
every morning.
And people follow her and they're like, I want to be like her.
But that's not fake. That's true. Those are her outfits. That's her life. She lives in a life of image. What I'm saying is, like, you can't translate that to a girl that has Zara.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, unless you're obsessed with clothes and this is your passion and this is the story you want to tell. But what I see with people is that they see somebody doing something, they interpret it very poorly, and they recreate it in a very dishonest way, and it doesn't land.
Yeah.
You have to find what's so interesting about you just as you are.
Yeah, that's true. And this is very hard, and also it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's many hours.
Like, I wanted to start this podcast, for instance, just as a side thing.
Yeah.
And now it's basically a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I haven't even launched it yet, and it's already a full-time job. Like the whole like pre-production, the post-production, the social media postings, the thinking about which content, like who to, you know, like the whole thing is like turned into something I first didn't even intend to do, and I'm not even making money with it.
Yeah.
So it's insane, you know? Yeah. But I think this is something that people, when they see your content, they know that because you are very authentic and very unique and you created something that is out of the line of anything else there is, they see that you're still, like, I don't know if you make money with what you're doing now, but you are doing something right because people are following you, right? Yeah. But then I saw, funnily enough, just a few days ago, I saw someone sent me, I think it was my sister, I'm not sure, because she knows I'm interviewing you. And she was like, look, there is this girl, she makes like almost the same thing. Like there are now people out there who are trying to copy you. Did you see that?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, go for it. I'm all for sharing. I mean, no one can steal me. How are they going to do that? It's a bit difficult.
And but they always say
if
that
anything I do motivates people, I think it's the greatest form of flattery. One of the girls messaged me. I put it on my Instagram. And she was like, I get all these comments that I copy you. And she was like, it's true. I stole your model. And, you know, go for it. Yeah. If I love, you know, I'm like zero jealous. It's
so
like,
you don't care about that?
I'm never jealous of people.
Okay.
It's like, normally people are jealous of me, and then I get super angry because they do things behind my back. Mm-hmm. It's like everybody's always talking about me and making up stories and trying to ruin opportunities for me. And this happens all the time. And then I get really angry and I get really reactive. But I would never go out of my way to put somebody down, especially if they're trying. Yeah. I'm not like, there's a lot of things I'm insecure about, but this no. Who's going to take it?
Yeah, and as you say, imitation
who's going to take my throne?
Imitation is the best flattery, as you say.
No, there's like, so they're going to put me out of business because they make my videos so similar to me.
Yeah, but it's so funny to me because you basically created a new genre.
Yeah. I was told that a lot in the YouTube video. I'm very honored by that.
This is so cool.
I know, I'm very honored because, you know, it's not actually a coincidence. When I was in Vietnam, I was watching a lot of documentaries, and the most interesting ones were some like ratchet YouTube, like almost Microsoft PowerPoint videos, but the stories they were telling were so important. And then you go to Netflix and there's these beautiful productions and the worst stories, right? Yeah. And I thought, I need to learn how to make these productions because I want to tell stories that are actually interesting. And I studied like screenwriting for like 6 months. I mean, all like independent studying until I got that formula.
Is this something that is in your future? Do you see like doing like a real proper thing and then selling it to Netflix or whatever?
I'll tell you this, I'm understanding the fame game a little bit better. And one of the things that I learned is that like getting too obsessed with old formats is actually counterproductive. As you say, we have so many hours in the day. These are very ambitious projects. And I think that I'm somebody I'm starting to understand that the attention is like the attention, right? It's like I get attention for me. So ultimately, the smartest thing to do is to optimize time, right?
Yeah.
So to say like, okay, if I go into production with a series, like I'm doing with Board and Beyond, great. But understand that the timeline of your career is more about just like how to get attention and then how to get,
and then do something with this.
And then do something with it rather than just, because like yesterday I met with this producer and he was talking about just starting this independent project about like a series here in Dubai for comedians and whatever. And I was just thinking, these romantic ideas that we have of art, right, are very dangerous because then you could get completely burn out and you get into projects that have no ROI. Yeah. And that, you think that, oh yeah, but this is my dream. Yeah, but if your dream completely breaks you, then it's going to be your nightmare.
I think this is the biggest problems artists have in general.
Yeah.
They are very romantic about what they are doing and they don't have a sense for business.
No.
Unfortunately.
I have a big sense for business.
Yeah. That would have been my next question. What is your relationship with money and how do you navigate like earning from this visibility that you have now?
Oh, I've capitalized like all the way. Like I do what's it called? Brand strategy consultations, and I've charged ridiculous fees for just telling people what to do with their Instagram. That's number one. The book sold very well. Yeah. And then I do partnerships, collaborations, sponsored by brands. Like I'm all about the capitalizing of what I do. That's because I'm 34. Maybe if I was 23, like some of the people that are doing exactly what I'm doing, I guess I would be more, whimsical about, like, I would just be maybe more naive and just think that we'll see where this goes. I'm violently capitalistic. I'm very interested in money. But it's not the money itself, because what can you buy with money? It's more like the security and the access. It saves you so much time to have connections and to have money. It saves you a lot of time and it gives you a completely different experience in the world. Like just, I don't know, like you want to do any project. You have 3 people on your roster that they can turn that project into something meaningful. The access and the security to me are really where I put that as a priority, It's like, what kind of art can you make with no resources?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can, but
there's no reach.
There's no audience.
Yeah.
You're not doing it only for yourself, right?
Yeah. But I mean that, of course you can make art. Art doesn't require a price tag. But like if you are into the things that I'm in, like actual productions of more cinematic content, then it's essential to have contacts and it's essential to have a budget because these are very ambitious projects and you can't just be a one-woman show,
And as you said before, it's really important who you know. Like this is something I would say it's even sometimes more important than having money to like make a project or whatever. Would you say that Dubai is a good spot for like making contacts to people that are very important and who have
sure.
Yeah.
I think like what I love about Dubai is how it's introduced me to so many Muslim countries, like or countries here in the Middle East or in the Gulf. Like I think those people have a very, very unique opportunity to bring their culture forward artistically, and that Dubai has built a hub that is like remarkable. As a Westerner, I think we're like in a little bubble. It's like we're a bit of a niche, and like 40%, 45% of my audience is American. So I think Dubai is great. Like, what, I'll tell you this. I have Dubai to thank for my go-getter attitude. I don't think it's a coincidence that my first video blew up in Dubai. I think Dubai puts you in this mindset of like, let's go.
Yeah.
So
you arrive at the airport and you're like,
yeah, it's like, I'm going to make it. And it works. Yeah. But, and you can definitely get backing. But I do think for them, it's more important to promote their culture, and very rightly so. They're at the height of their process in evolution, in economical growth and positioning globally. And I think it's important that they honor their culture, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's an idiosyncratic element to my content that is relatable from an international side, but not necessarily from a proper Emirati side.
Yeah, probably not. But then again, this is not intended to be your target
no,
audience,
not
right?
at all. Not at
I mean,
all.
I'm sure there are a few following you as well.
No, of course.
Especially the women. And this is like my next topic, like women. You are talking a lot about feminism also.
Yeah.
And what would you say is your most unpopular opinion about feminism? For me, I come from Europe, and I have realized in the recent years before I moved to Dubai that feminism turned out to be something I'm not very comfortable with anymore.
Yeah.
When I started being or consider myself a feminist, there was already so much work done by feminists in former generations that were like real important things, like women can vote, women can do this and that. But then it turned out to be something very, I want to provocatively say woke, because it's something I don't identify with anymore. How would you see feminism for yourself?
I think there's this kind of bigotry in the world right now where people are using different flags to fight each other, and feminism is at the center of that. I think the West has experienced, this whole like woke virus thing, right, which I don't identify with. And I think Europe has become, the newer generations almost have this like socialist message. And in America, it's like the Antifa. And I see like, it's little to do with feminism, and it has more to do with like those groups of people that are normally young people that come from contexts that are socially, economically and culturally not with a lot of global visibility, and that they're kind of fighting each other with these banners. And of course, I don't identify with that. I think it's not very intelligent. I think like thinking that being a woman is, it's like you're a victim. You're automatically a victim because you're a woman. Also, when did people lose nuance and common sense? Like, I mean, no offense, but how can you live in this planet and think that men don't suffer?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of underdeveloped brain would come up with a conclusion so simplistic? So I think, like I said, in the 90s, men were a little bit out of control, and it was still a bit unfair the way we were treated, because I always had to choose between being like submissive or open, right? It's just like my personality was too much, because the ideal woman was somebody that was more submissive because it was considered feminine qualities. Yeah. But, they weren't holding guns to my head to keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the end of the world. But now it's like, you can't even identify genders anymore. It's like we're all the same, and that is just too far to the other end. And it all happened in a span of 20 years. So I don't think it makes any sense.
But maybe it's a back and forth. In history, sometimes this extreme, like...
Yeah, it's like the pendulum needs to swing.
It's like this pendulum.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand this new generation, but I think, like, at least in the West, I think Gen Z's, like, cynicism is the outcome of a whole social and economical collapse, and it's like they're angry, and it's understandable that they're angry, and they don't really have much context. They inherited the worst generation in US history. I get it, but at the same time, it's like we still have a bit of hope because we had nicer childhoods, and we're a bit more optimistic, and we're trying to reroute, but it's very difficult to talk to them sometimes. They feel very strongly about these causes.
I know. And then, as you said in the beginning, the next generation after them, Gen Alpha. I'm telling you, they are more like millennials.
I believe that. I got into this whole thing of streaming, like Twitch.
Yeah.
And I saw the Twitch awards and how they talk to each other, and they bully each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, bullying is back.
They are like millennials.
Yeah. I think Gen Z was a bit too sensitive, and they're on their way out.
Yeah.
They're almost 30.
True.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, but as I said, maybe it's a social and economic necessity for them to be like this.
Yeah. I mean, they're just coping with what they inherited.
Yeah.
But time to say goodbye. They're leaving.
And the thing is that being sensitive...
Yeah.
The older they get, I think, at least, the more they will realize being sensitive will not get them anywhere. Because it's like the world is
such
brutal.
a narcissistic point of view. Like, there's this girl that I saw today. You talk about rage bait. There's this girl in Spain that you watch 5 minutes of her speech and then your blood boils. She believes that, people, in Spain, they have a big problem with something called ocupas, which means that anyone can enter your house when you're away and keep it permanently, and the government can't take them out because they have a law that if a house is unused, therefore somebody should have the right to take it. It makes absolutely no sense. So she's like a strong syndicate in this movement of just like people shouldn't have more than one house, and if people have a second house, anyone can claim it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this kind of ideas.
And she is pro. Like
she's running the movement. She thinks that the real estate market is the outcome of vicious greed. Yeah. And that prices should be low and people shouldn't like pay for public transport. They should be close to their work. So if you have an office here, then the person who lives next to your office should give you their house. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's a very funny idea.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know. So this is the kind of mentalities that they've the kind of extremes that they've reached to, that it's very hard to relate.
Yeah, but then like I said, this pendulum is so weird because also Gen Z is somehow responsible for this whole thread wife movement,
right? Isn't that crazy? So now we have to make bread from scratch.
Yeah, like this is so funny to me. Like how can these two worlds exist on this planet at the same time,
I think about that contrast a lot.
It's
insane. Because it's just optics. At the end of the day, the world is still moving in a completely capitalistic direction.
Yeah, and it will never stop doing that.
It will never stop.
Even if Gen Z doesn't like it. And I mean, I sometimes also don't like it, but it is what it is. A single person can't change that.
They have a problem with like work discomfort and responsibility, which are elements that are not our responsibility to eliminate. Like that's just the way the world is built. Like we can't exonerate you from pain. That's not how it works.
And this is what I'm saying. Like being sensitive will get you nowhere because the world is brutal and it will ultimately kill you if you don't have the balls to withstand it.
And they don't even want to try. They don't even want to try. Because they ask me for help and then they don't do the silence. Because they're like, oh, I can't do silence. And I'm like, where do you think you're going to go? You're begging. They're so quick to beg. They have no embarrassment. Like, they're so quick to beg. They're just like, my life is horrible. My sister doesn't love me. My dog died last year, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, you're so comfortable in this like false vulnerability of just like my life is a tragedy. And then just like, let me ask one thing of you. You know how many like video editors want to work for me? And then they don't show up to the interview. And the reason I agreed to the interview is because they send me this like sobbing message of like, I always had this dream. It's like my life is like this. And then they're like, oh, sorry, I fell asleep. And you're like, buddy, I don't think your grandma's the problem here. I think your problem is that you can't show up on time.
Yeah. Okay, just to bring it to an end, because we only have a few minutes left. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, the next year? Do you want to leave Dubai? Do you want to start something completely new, different? Well, what's in for you? What are your plans?
I just want to keep growing my brand, to be honest. Like, I think I'm going to be leaving Dubai and I'm going to do a docuseries around Africa. And I want to talk about like really deep existentialist topics whilst being in places where humanity started. So I want to just dive the deep pockets of culture. I think I've become too addicted to the wild.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the jungle.
And you are such a great like documentarist, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see something. I'm sure we will hear and see more of you. I'm sure. Yeah. Because you just have the talent, I think.
Thank you so much.
And the ambition to just go through with it.
Yeah, I think this is the time for me. I mean, I've sacrificed a lot to get here.
Yeah. I'm
pretty lonely on this journey and it's just getting started. So the next 5 years, I'm just going to grind really hard. And it's like, it's a big ask, but this is what I want, this is it for me. This is so cool that you found out what you want,
Yeah. Because many people don't know.
After all this time.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to get to a certain age also to, maturity, I would say, not even age, to realize what we want and also what we don't want. Because I think that this is even more important sometimes.
100%.
Yeah.
To lay the line.
Yeah. Victoria, thank you so much for being here. I love the conversation and everything. I will put your accounts and everything in the show notes. I would love for people to see what you're doing and just see for themselves how awesome and unique your content actually is.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, I wish you all the best for the next year and for your future. And I hope to see more of you.
Thank you. This was so much fun. I'm
Thank
so
you.
honored to have been a guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys.